click it here. Oh, I'm so dumb. I am so dumb. Welcome to the channel. I am a dum-dum. I think I'm stupid. Let's see if I'm stupid. Is it going? Oh, yep, it's going. It's going. Yeah, I'm a dummy. There's a big button in the top right-hand corner that says Start Stream, and or it says Go Live, and I didn't do that. So I was just sitting here waiting for the timer to run out. But yeah, it looks like we are live now. I want to get everything up and working here. There's that. Let me shut the audio off there. Do we have audio? Let's see. Do we have audio? Yep, we do have audio. Okay, good. Yeah, you guys know that I'm not good at the technical side of things. I do the the video game playing, and that's it. So I want to find the, give me a second, guys. I'm going to get everything sorted here. This one, shut that off. I just heard myself in even more than surround sound. I heard myself in like coming through my phone and then through my computer at the same time. We are live. Yes, we're live. I was sitting here. I had set the recording to start or the video to start at 6 o'clock, and I was just sitting here because I couldn't figure out how to get it started. I had it fired up through OBS, and I was just sitting here staring at my YouTube studio page, watching the countdown timer till 6 o'clock. And it took me about 5 or 6 minutes to see the big button in the top right hand corner that said Go Live. So I just was sitting here talking to myself. We are live. Yes, we are live. RJ Mayer to glory. Well, we got some time, FJ. We've got FJ. We've got RJ Mayer coming up in about 2 months, I think. Let me really quickly just get this posted on the GM Games forum. If anybody wants to come hang out from there. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, come on. I also left my heat on, and so my office is in this room I'm in is in a detached garage, or a detached garage above the garage. And I've got my heat on up here, and I was up here. I've been on vacation all week, and I was up here Wednesday doing my first recording, the episode 1 recording. And I left the heat on, so my office is 87 degrees right now. It's incredibly uncomfortable up here. You like the new game? Yeah, I do. I've been playing it nonstop since Tuesday night, since Wednesday morning. So yeah, FJ, you're right. It's a lot. It feels a lot more stable. I'm sure there are bugs in there somewhere. Like I've had people talk about of early on financial bugs that cause people that cause people to make a lot of trades and things like that. But I haven't seen any of that. So I didn't know you were a mod either. How you doing, Breeze? Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? Those of you who are here know me, but if you're new to the channel, my name is Aaron. I have been playing Out of the Park baseball since OOTP7, I think, was my first version of Out of the Park baseball. I used to play Baseball Mogul prior to that. Found Out of the Park baseball and never looked back. I have bought this game on release date or before every single season for the last 15 plus seasons. It is by far my most played game. I've got thousands and thousands of hours into this game over the last 15 plus years. So, and Out of the Park Baseball 24, it really feels like, at least in my opinion, it feels like they actually took some time and said, what can we do to try to improve the online or the offline experience, right? There's been so much focus put into Perfect Team and things like that the offline version has felt a little left out, I guess, over the last handful of years, but some of the changes they made to this version of Out of the Park baseball, I think, have been absolutely fantastic, and we're going to we'll take a look at them as we sim through the game. Metal Bug, Tiger spring training on the computer and stream. Oh, I'm on the big screen. How do I look on the big screen? You have more hours in this series. Yeah, you and me both, FJ. It's not healthy, the amount of Out of the Park baseball I've played over the last 15 plus years. And now when you add in the online games, which I'm I don't want to say heavily involved in, but I'm in a couple of online leagues too. It really does become a year-round thing. Like I typically, before I played online, I usually only play these games during the season. Like I play baseball when it's baseball season, and then when it's not baseball season, I don't feel like playing baseball, so I play something else. But the online stuff has really, I play it all year now. I play it all year long now. So, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Breeze. I'm warm. My office is really, really hot. I may have to go open a window. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna go do that before we get started. Hang on. All right, I'm back, as you can see. I don't know what kind of a delay we have here. It looks like it's about a 30-second delay. That's not bad. Your girlfriend keeps asking you why you keep playing that boring spreadsheet. It's hard to explain, right? Like I was talking to my wife about it last night, and I said I'm doing a live stream tomorrow night for this baseball game that I've been playing for years and years and years. And part of the reason I'm doing this live stream, obviously, is Ashton. How are you, my friend? Part of the reason I'm doing the live stream is because obviously I love the game, but part of it is I also need to get back into kind of the swing of streaming, as I'm going to be doing it again for GM Games starting tomorrow night. And part of the reason I stream for GM Games is because they're the ones who give me a copy of the game, right? Like they're the reason I had the game Tuesday night. So I was trying to explain to my wife, I'm like, I got a free copy of this game, and now I need to play it and give these people kind of their money's worth for what they invested in me. And I was like, yeah, I mean, she goes, how many people watch? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we're all a bunch of stat geeks, right? Like we don't play these games for the graphics. We play them because we're a bunch of numbers geeks. So anyway, let's get going. And there are a couple of things that I neglected to talk about in episode 1. And that was just due to my excitement level. I tend to forget things if I'm excited. And I didn't really show my setup of the game. GM Games, yes, Chris and the GM Games staff are wonderful. I've got a really, really good relationship with Chris. This is going to be my third Out of the Park season I started with 22, 23, and now 24 doing Let's Plays for them. And I'm going to be doing the Chicago White Sox over on GM Games. So I got a Cubs thing going on here and a White Sox thing going on over on GM Games. So that should be fun. Yeah, Breeze, I've been playing since Out of the Park 7. It's a long time. So yeah, I didn't show my setup, so let's go through and I think there are actually a couple of things that I want to change now that I think about it. So first thing, players and team, I want to bump TCR just a little, just bump it to 105, just give it a little bit more randomness. Yeah, right, FJ, me too. I mean, you heard my reaction. Right, when I was playing the game and the spray chart came up, like it was the same thing, because I knew that there's also a new, like they call it super replay or something like that looks pretty cool. But yeah, you heard my reaction when I saw the spray chart for the first time. I was visibly surprised, but it was really cool. So I bumped TCR a little bit. I also want to go into AI settings and change player evaluation. 40, 30, 25, 5 is how I like to do it. I don't know if you guys do it any differently, but that's how I'm going to do it. And then you can see I've got, I want to turn hard mode on. Yeah, so if you are new to the game, some of the new features in the game, a lot of them are in the the trade AI. So you've got hard mode, and hard mode is truly hard. It removes the make this work now button, which we all abuse that. Whether we intend to abuse that or not, we all abuse the make this work now button. And this removes it. So now you're leaning on what your GM says and what you think based on player ratings and things of that nature. And then the reputation system. Breeze, you actually asked me about this earlier today, and I don't know to this point that I can see a noticeable difference in how hard the trades are depending on what your reputation is with that team. I will say, though, that it is forcing me to be more careful about the trades that I submit because I don't want to damage that reputation. So even if that's the only way that it works, it's working because I don't just submit, 150 trades on trade deadline to see which ones I can get to go through. I have to actually think about it. So, beyond that, any other settings that anybody else wants me to look at? Obviously, we're going 2080. Did I have it set on? I don't want stars. I want 2080. I want 20 and 80. I've gotten hooked on the 2080 rating. Let's see. Anything else we want to look at? I turn on trading of injured players because you can do that. Trade deadline is set. We've got the 4-minute trade deadline deadline day set up. I don't think there's anything else here I need to look at. Financials, options. Nothing here. Nothing else here needs to change. Players, historical, and so we're good. All right, so it's opening day. We just lost 3-1 to Corbin Burns and the Cubs. I don't think I've simmed through this day yet. I haven't. So somebody made a comment in you do 25, 45, 25, 45, 25, 5. And I did 30, 40. Yeah, okay. That's how I always did 30, 40, 25, 5 in 23. I'll just see how it works. Somebody commented in my first video, and actually, I don't remember, it may have been one of you guys, but somebody commented that I didn't use the waiver wire. And again, that's a forgetful thing, but thankfully we are still on day one. Not much on the waiver wire, but Tomas Nido, we got a decent defensive catcher sitting on the block or sitting on waivers. Our pitching staff is really bad. I was surprised at how bad this Cubs roster was, to be honest with you. I knew they weren't great, but I didn't realize they were this bad. Yeah, the waiver wire is something that's right. We lost Nico Horner for 3 weeks. It's something we're going to need to go heavy into here in year one. Like, it might be in our best interest to sim ahead a day at a time from this screen so you can see those players pop up. I mean, Tomas Nido, I think it's Nieto, actually. It's Nieto, I believe, and I learned that from Random Task. It's Tomas Nieto. Usually stock up your team with minor leaguers or free agents. And we may need to do that. But Nieto with that defense, he's ARB eligible, but I mean that's great catcher ability. I think it's better than the two catchers that we have, Gomes and Barnhart. I mean, Gomes isn't bad, but I mean he's making $6 million. Barnhart's making $3.5. So we're paying $9.5 million for two bad catchers. But I think we got Miguel Amaya in the minor league, so I think we're probably okay. So we are just going to go ahead and sim ahead, but we got to put Nico Horner on the injured list, and that means we will call Nick Madrigal right back up, stick him in the lineup at second base. We sent him down last year. And I am Austin Hedges. His contract is bad. Yeah, Austin Hedges was always that meta transaction, right? In previous series with that defense. but his bat is so, I mean, again, it's very low ratings, but his bat is just so bad. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do, I want to turn down trading because I've noticed that there are a lot of trades if you don't turn down the AI trading frequency. Nico, what's going on, man? How you doing? Thanks for jumping in, and yeah, thanks for coming. All right, so it's opening day. We lost 3-1. I don't expect much. I also don't intend on making a whole lot of moves here in the early going. We might make some minor ones, but I'm not big on picking up a team and just gutting it. I mean, ultimately, I think we do, right? I think ultimately we do trade anything that's not nailed down, but in the short term, like in the first month, it doesn't make any sense. So we're just going to go ahead and sim ahead a bunch. And tonight I am drinking. So for those of you who don't know, and I don't mind sharing this, I am a recovering alcoholic. I am 9 years sober next month. And over the last, 6 months or so, I've been dipping my toes into the non-alcoholic beer world. And tonight I'm drinking Upside Dawn from Athletic Brewing Company. Where are they based out of? I think it's local to me. I think it's based out of, oh no, it's Connecticut. Stratford, Connecticut. Okay. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me, a little bit about your streamer that maybe you didn't know, but yeah, that's me. All right, let's just sim ahead of here a little bit. And you guys know how I do my streaming. I like doing a day at a time. At least when I'm live in a stream like this, I like doing a day at a time. It gives us the opportunity to really kind of see how things are developing. FJ, thank you. Predatory Wasp, thank you. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, it was a very difficult decision, but it was a very good decision, and I don't regret it for a second, especially now because when I first stopped drinking, the only non-alcoholic beers you could get were like O'Doul's, and that stuff tasted like water. This stuff actually is good. So, yeah. So thank you to both of you. I appreciate that. So we won 3-2. 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Dansby Swanson picks up a couple of RBIs. Okay, what's going on here? Why did he only pitch 4 1/3 innings? How do we have our strategy set up? Presets, sabermetric, and I want to slow down the hook. Well, I guess it doesn't really. Maybe bump it a little bit, but 4 1/3 innings is kind of dumb. And I think you can go in and you can change their. Yeah, my nose is really itchy. Sorry. I think you can go in and you can change this. On our veterans, we're going to have slower hooks, I think. Yeah, okay. Well, that's why Tyon got pulled. All right, so we're 1-1. 1-1. Yeah, so for those of you who haven't been in a live stream of mine, I like to go a day at a time because I like to look at the box scores. And I mean, I play this game for the numbers, right? So I like to look at the box scores and I like to see how the players are doing, and it gives me more of an opportunity to sort of get invested in the team a little bit more. So we win again. So we take 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee in the opening series of the year. Trey Mancini, a couple of hits. Cody Bellinger, a couple of hits and an RBI. Yan Gomes, 2 RBIs. Steele gets pulled after throwing 70 pitches. How do I have... Let's just set these at 100 for our last 3, and then Stroman and Tyon can pitch however much they want. All right, so we got the Reds coming up. You haven't gotten it yet, Nico? Got to dive in, man. Just got to bite the bullet. Just do it. Cubs 3-1 out of the chute here. Hot start. 2 runs in the 6th, 2 in the 8th. Trey Mancini, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs for Trey. Bellinger has another RBI. More bullpen. Wisniewski is somebody that I received a lot of feedback about. People are really upset about the game's ratings for Hayden Wisniewski. So we'll see what his ratings come back at in a couple of days here. But a lot of people not happy with the low rating for Hayden Wisniewski. 4-1. What is going on here? I didn't think we were going to win 4 games in April. Christopher Morel, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Tucker Barnhart had a couple of hits. Oh, wow. I'm a B. That name's hard to say. Am I doing GM and manager mode? Yeah, I set the lineups. I set the lineups in the pitching staff. It's just the way I've always played the game. Welcome to the channel, first and foremost. But yeah, that's how I've always played the game. I just like having that type of control over it. So Wisniewski's still not there yet. Still don't have scouting on him. What do I want to do? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that's right. He's scouting. He's got to scout all of these players. This is something I did last episode too. Is I had him scout basically every minor leaguer that was 2.5 stars or higher. So, all right, we're 4-1 here out of the gate. Took 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee, and we sweep the Cincinnati Reds. So 5-1 to start our season. Ian Happ had 2 hits, 3 RBIs. 3 RBIs for Morel. Mancini hits his 3rd home run. Stroman goes 5 1/3. Yeah, Nico, me too. I play like every one of these. I play this in Franchise Hockey Manager, and I play the Draft Day Sports basketball games and football games, and I always like to be the coach. I like to be able to, Eric Hosmer is struggling, so I move him up and down in the lineup, and be able to do that, not just because the guy that I'm paying to manage the team wants Hosmer in the leadoff spot. I can move him around. So this is how I've always played out of the park baseball, is as the GM and manager. It makes me nuts when the manager does things that I think are stupid. So, yeah. 5-1, and we're playing Texas here, and it looks like we're gonna miss. DeGrom, which is nice. DeGrom is a monster. I've played offline with the Red Sox, and I'm in my 5th year or something like that. And he won, I think, he won the first 2 Cy Youngs. He stayed healthy, which is the most amazing thing. That's pretty cool. All right, so we're 5-1. 5-1 to start the season. We got 3 against Texas at home. So what are you guys doing? What are you guys kicking off your out of the park 24 experience with? FJ, I know you're doing the Mariners. That guy, how are you? John, what's up, man? What's everybody else doing? I know Breeze, you're all over the place. You do a little bit of everything. What's everybody else doing? What have you dove in with here? We lose 7-2. You like the added challenge of GM only. But I want to try hard when I'm. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it is an extra. There is an extra layer of challenge there, right? Because you have to accept that your manager is going to do stupid things, right? You have to accept that your manager is going to do things that you don't want him to do, and you either fire him or you let him do it. All right, so we're 6-2. Nico, you're going to do the Cubs too. Are you from the Chicagoland area, Nico, or the Cubs just your favorite team? Patrick Wisdom with a 3-run homer. Steele goes 4 again. There's Wisniewski. What do we got? Yeah, not great ratings for Hayden. FJ, DeGrom is a cheat code. Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's unbelievable. He really is unbelievable. Ian, you're going to do either Rockies, Predatory, Wasp. Going to start with the D-backs or A's. That guy's going to start with the Padres. Skinny Pete, good evening. Good evening, my friend. How are you, guys? If you want another out of the park channel to watch, go check out Skinny Pete. He's doing an Oakland A's save over on his channel, and only a couple episodes in, but I've enjoyed them both immensely. So Yeah, head over to Skinny Pete's channel and drop him a subscription and go say hi. Your family is, and you're there all the time. Where are they from, Nico? Because I live in Chicago. I'm born and raised in Boston, but I live in the suburbs right now. Yeah, so Wisniewski's ratings not great, not great. He's pitching well, but not great. 6-2 to start the season. Ian, I did a out of the park 23 over on General Manager Games. I did Colorado Rockies playthrough over there, and it was a lot of fun. We played 15 years, and I either won 3 or 5 World Series in those 15 years. It was hard, but it was fun. Melrose Park. Okay, I live in Wheaton, so it's 20-25 minutes away, so that's cool. Of course. Hey, Pete, this is a very, very niche audience, right? It's a very small corner of the YouTube world, and we got to support each other. So yeah, guys, head over to Skinny Pete's channel and drop him a subscription over there and show him your support. Oh, there we go. We call a loss to FJ's Seattle Mariners. Another loss to their Mariners. Stroman gave us 6 shutout. The offense mustered 2 hits. Your last achievement and out of the park was winning the World Series with the Nationals in year 4 or 3. Did I ever win with the Nationals last year? I can't remember. Last year was a tough year for me. With out of the park baseball. I did the Diamondbacks over on General Manager Games, and I was pretty successful over there. We won, I think, 3 World Series in a row before the wheels fell off. But other than that, I struggled with my A's series. I can't remember if we won with the Nationals or not. I don't think I did. FJ, was that the series that you were showing us right before over on my Discord that you were showing us right before Out of the Park? Was that you? Right before 24 came out, you were showing us Strasburg's career with the Nationals and how you were able to keep him healthy. And I'm looking to my left because I've got my phone there, and that's where chat's coming up. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not just Madrigal's back. Yeah, Nico Horner got hurt. He got hurt on opening day. He's out for 3 weeks on opening day. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, Pete, Madrigal's back in the lineup because we lost Nico for, well, at the time it was 3 weeks. It's now down to a week now. All right, so we got the draft pool coming up, the announcement coming up today. We'll take a look at that here in a second. Seiya Suzuki is back. All right, so who goes to the minors? I mean, really the player that makes the most sense is Bodie, but with that contract, it's hard to justify having that contract in the minor leagues. Such an awful contract. I don't know why the Cubs did that. They did that because he had like a good half season here in 2019, and they were like, here, have $30 million. It's just kind of goofy. But McKinstry can do everything Bodie can do, but better. Yeah, Nico, he's my starting second baseman. He'll be out there every day. I think we just send Bodie down. Call Suzuki up and reboot this lineup here a little bit. So right now in right field, we've got Mancini, who's in left. Happ, Bellinger in center. Who's the worst defensive player of? It's got to be Mancini, right? Yeah. So we'll do this. Suzuki to right, Mancini to left. No, Mancini to DH rather, and Bellinger in center. He's not a power hitter though, but I think that probably makes the most sense for now. Where did he go? Suzuki. I want Morel out there though. Can Morel play third? He's got the 60 arms passable. I think we do this. Suzuki in there. Right field. Mancini to left. Nope. What am I doing? Mancini to DH. That's what I was trying to do. Do that. All right. So we started 6-2. We've lost 4 games in a row. Yeah, our scout is still working on getting scouting reports on all of our players. Wow, that's a draft. Okay. What do we have for? I think we only have like $5 million for our draft budget this year. In your second season with the Mariners now, you're going to platoon the hell out of your lineup since all your players can only hit against lefties or right. I mean, if you can find the right mix, it works. Wow, there are a ton of good bats in this draft. Hopefully we can afford one of them. Eric Batanti. He's certainly not a shortstop with those ratings, but corner infielder probably. Clark can play center. He wants $11 million, so that's not going to work for us. Jenkins isn't going to... I am familiar with him from... Was it the A's series? Was it the A's series? It was, right? It was the A's series where we had Batanti. They all blend together after a while. Yeah, there's a lot of talent here. Again, not as much pitching talent. Wow, he's pretty good. Thomas White. I saw something on Twitter today about this guy, Paul Skeens, and the tweet said that scout had never seen a better college pitcher than Paul Skeens. Take it for what it's worth, but Ian, we picked 13th. We picked 13th, and they have us taking Batanti. It was either the A's or the Nats. He turned out to be a stud, and you skipped over him. Well, maybe we won't. If they think we're going to take him this year, so maybe that's the way we go. As the Pirates taking Enrique Bradfield first. I mean, that's not a... If they took him first, great, but I don't think they will. We got a ways to go before we get there, though, so let's start simming here a little bit. Oh, good. Nico Horner suffered a setback. He's out for another week. Got the Dodgers now. Pitching and game in the draft scenes. Yeah, Pete, it was this way last year too, right? Where you really needed to be patient with pitchers. It was hard to there weren't many pitchers that were, single A, high A ready. It was, 18-year-olds that were, 1-star, 3-star, and you had to really develop, which is why I spent, if you look at my stuff, my videos from last year, anytime I draft a pitcher, unless it's a sure thing, I'm looking at their pitch types. I'm looking at their pitch, what types of pitches they have, and that sort of thing. Wow, we've lost 6 in a row. Dylan Cupp always turns into a beast. I don't think I've ever had Dylan Cupp. And yeah, FJ, anyway, we finally win. The first year draft, it actually doesn't look bad from a hitting perspective, but the first year draft is... It's not just out of the park 24. It's been like this for years, where the first draft is below average, to put it mildly. So we are in second place still, back in first place now with an 8-8 mark. Helps that we play in a really not a great division. Morel 2 for 3 RBIs. He hit a home run. Matt Mervis hit a pinch hit home run. 5 2/3 shutout. Never drafted a high school pitcher in the first 5 rounds. Yeah, I'm hard pressed to draft a high school pitcher early. I'll draft college pitchers because they tend to be... How long is Swanson out for? Diagnosis pending. Damn it. All right. Well, we get Horner back just in time to lose Swanson. I guess let's just put him on a rehab assignment until we hear from Swanson, and then Swanson will go on the DL, and we'll put Horner in there. Yeah, FJ, that's where I was going with it. Swanson's out for 3 weeks. That's where I was going with it. It was, unless it's a a college pitcher that is already pretty well. I'll take a higher floor, lower ceiling college pitcher over the high ceiling, low floor high school pitcher pretty much every day. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and stick Horner at short. And this is why we keep all three of them, because they're interchangeable in that respect. I figure we play about a month and a half, and then we start to kind of take a look at, what we're going to, or where we might potentially start to make some moves. Do a couple of days simming here on the waiver wire so that I don't forget to check it. We were 6-2. We're 2-11 now in our last 13. Brandon Howlett. He's no good. Trey Cabbage. That's a name. Jack Leiter in 22. I never got him to develop the right way in 23, but in 22 he was pretty good. You'd rather take a 30? Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I'm saying, FJ. You take that college pitcher who's a bit more of a sure thing. We were 8-8 and in first place. We're now 8-14 in last place. The only time Jack Leiter ever pitched well for me, I think, was when we did the Draft to Glory last year with the Texas Rangers. I did a series over on GM Games where I could only was it 22? I did it in 22 with the Texas Rangers, and I could only have players on my team that I either drafted through the first-year player draft or through the Rule 5 draft. And we drafted Jack Leiter, and he turned out okay. But I don't think he pitched well, because we drafted him in 23 as the Rockies, and we ended up trading him after half a dozen years or something like that. And good, Kyle Hendricks. I forgot about Kyle Hendricks. Just stick him on a rehab assignment. Double header today. Win one and lose one. Yeah, 22 he turned out, he was usually pretty good. 23, I personally couldn't get him to develop, but Ian Happ. We got some players we got to move this season. I just don't like doing it too early. I could do it all now if I really wanted to, but I don't like just dumping the entire team. Look who's leading our team in ERA. Hayden Wisniewski. Love it. 19 innings, 18 strikeouts. All right, let's get to the end of April, and then we'll kind of figure it out from there. Maybe we make a trade or two in April and May, and then kind of hold off. Beat Miami. Madrigal a couple of hits. Suzuki's hitting a whopping 218. He's another one. He is another one that just never developed the right way last year, or seemingly so far this year. What's his contract? It's okay. It's not terrible, I guess. Good defensively, but the bat is what it is. Claudio, hello from Brazil. How are things down in beautiful Brazil this lovely Saturday night? Thanks for joining. Wisniewski was always a solid bullpen piece in 23. Yeah, he just had a good run at the end of last season with the Cubs. Yeah, he made a handful of good appearances at the end of the year, so everybody is shouting for him to be elite this year, and he's not, and people don't like that. I don't really care about development for anybody on my big league roster other than the guy that we're paying $170 million to for the next 7 seasons. That's such a bad contract. I mean, he's great defensively, don't get me wrong, but that's such a bad contract. Miguel Amaya's ratings dropped. That's not ideal. Marquez's ratings dropped. That's not ideal. Brennan Davis got a little better. That's good. He's raking. He should probably be called out. He's got a fractured finger, though. We'll just call him up to AAA, however, for the time being. Oh, that's good. Crow Armstrong's ratings have already started to drop a little. He'll probably be up next season. My nose is super itchy. It's got to be something going on in my office. Hendricks suffered an injury. All right. So I didn't really dive into this. Swanson's batting attributes aren't that much. No, they're not. The difference is that at least Swanson has shown that he can hit a little bit. Like he hit 25 home runs a couple of years in a row or something. All right. So from a salary perspective, these are just awful. Just awful, awful contracts. There isn't a single name on this list above Nico Horner that I think is worth what we're paying them. I forgot to turn the light on. It's going to get really dark in here in a second. I'm going to have to turn the lights on. I'm not going to trade all these players, but I'm not saying I'm not going to either. Just somewhere in the middle. Let's just see quickly what we can get for Ian Happ. And I'll retain if I have to. We don't have any money this year, but I'll retain if I have to. Mike Soroka. Bring him in as a pitcher. Come on. Very low ratings. He's always hurt too, though. He was good when he wasn't hurt. Really good 2019 season, but he's always hurt. Yeah, Pete, you're having a difficult time with Christian in your playthrough, aren't you? Gratterall. It's hard to tell right now, though, with the ratings the way they are. So I think what we do is let's identify a couple of targets. Like I wouldn't mind bringing in Gratterall for Hap, but I want to see how accurate those ratings are. If those are his ratings, then we have a kind of a bullpen stud, but I want to make sure that those are his actual ratings. I'm also going to see what I can get if I retain. Let's retain like 55%. You don't need the money for anything this year. I say that. We would just take the money and we would dump it into scouting and development. But Ian Anderson? Scouting reports on a couple of these players. Sixto Sanchez, really? Huh. Max Meyer. Wow. He's somebody I wouldn't mind. Chas McCormick is more of a defense. He's got an okay bat. He's really good defensively. I just want to make sure, I don't want to trade for somebody where we have very low scouting accuracy. You're just asking for trouble there, right? Yeah, that was really funny. That was really funny. Matt Brash, he looks pretty good. He's out for 10 months, but I don't care about this season. What do you think about Matt Brash, FJ? Yeah, if you want to know what FJ's talking about, go over to my Discord. There's a tweet there. It's Biden and Trump arguing about out-of-the-park baseball. It's actually really funny. Wouldn't mind Brash. Again, I don't really care because I don't care that he's out for the year, but let's run some scouting reports on some of those players, see what they come back with, and maybe we'll make one of those deals. Yeah, Pete, that's what I was thinking too. They've got. Obviously the prize is Alcantara, right? But you're never gonna. Why would I trade Ian Happ? Because he's in the last year of his contract, and he wants what is that, $73 million over 4 years that I can't afford. So, and because he's not asking for $20 million, he probably accepts the qualifying offer if I make it. So I have a couple options. I can either make the qualifying offer and pay him $20 million next season. I can let him walk for nothing, or I can trade him. And if those are my three options, trading him is probably the best option, realistically. Yeah, which is weird, right? They should have traded both Happ and Contreras at the deadline. I don't know why they didn't, but so that's the answer to that, because ultimately I can't afford to bring Happ back, so I may as well trade him for something that would be of use to me. So we won. We won a game. Yay. Yan Gomes hitting .375 on the season. 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. His slider is electric. Well, he's out for 10 months in our world, but we could bring him in and he could be our stud bullpen guy for the next handful of years. Talk about the man right there. He has 3 RBIs. Horner with a 3-hit game. Wisniewski picks up the win. Lose to Washington. We got any scouting results yet? This is on Suzuki. Yeah, he's just okay. He's good with the glove. He's got a great arm. But everything else is just okay. I mean, if we were a contender, like, I would be okay with somebody like this on the team. You know, bat him in the number 2 hole, and you know, maybe he hits 270 with 15 home runs, and he plays good defense out in right field. But for us, it just, I don't know. What does he bring? I mean, what does he bring that we need right now? Andy's 28, so by the time we're good, he'll be in his early 30s. Oh, but yeah, it was Pete, you were talking about Miami. You're right. The star, the one you want, is Alcantara. I mean, he's the stud. But yeah, they got a handful of decent arms out there. Not crazy about Luzardo. Yuri Perez is a good one. Trevor Rogers, Out of the Park 24 does not like Trevor Rogers nearly as much as Out of the Park 23 did. Max Meyer was pretty good, but he's out for 9 months as well. Scouting on him anyway. But you're right. They've got some good young players. Gotta keep saying see, I don't want to make deals like I don't want to trade everybody, but you know, if I can with the trading difficulty the way I have it, it's going to be hard to move someone like Suzuki for anything of real value anyway. Having the trading difficulty scaled all the way up, and it's going to be hard to get anything of real value for Suzuki anyway. I mean, if I try to trade him, chances are I get no offers, or the offers I get are for other players with bad contracts. Yeah, I don't even get an offer for him. So, all right, let's keep going. Happen. Madrigal to top of the order, a couple of hits. Suzuki has a couple of RBIs. Hosmer, 2 for 3. Thompson picks up his first win of the year. Kintry's down for a couple of days. We'll just keep going. Yeah, Sixto Sanchez. Now we get Eric Hosmer as the National League Player of the Week. That's Nico Horner. Eric Hosmer, the National League Player of the Week. You gotta love it. Meyer, Sanchez, and Garrett were all top prospects that you can get for not a lot. Yeah, I mean, they were willing to give me Sanchez for Hap straight up. Excuse me, Cody Hoyer. Let's put him on a rehab assignment. We gotten emails back from any of these people yet. There's Sanchez. Yeah, see, but Sanchez. Let's get another scouting report on him. I mean, those ratings are not particularly good. Max Meyer is a little bit better, but again, he's out for 9 months. Chas McCormick. Scouting report. Matt Brash. Brash might be the guy, guys. Matt Brash might be the guy. I mean, he's out for the season. Yeah, Meyer's out for the year. Brash might be the guy. He just got hurt. I mean, I hate trading for somebody who just suffered an arm injury, but 80 stuff at 75 fastball, 80 slider. I mean, that's electric. Gratterall. Maybe Gratterall's the guy because at least he's not hurt. And if that movement is a 70-75 and the control is a 65-70, he doesn't have great pitches, but I don't know. The stuff, the movement, and the control are all there. Anderson will go with that. So I'm leaning towards either Gratterall or Brash. Maybe both. Maybe we get them both. And those are our, maybe we run heavy into the bullpen last year. You have Brash in your, yeah, that's the thing is he had 40 stamina, so that's passable for a starter these days. His stuff obviously wouldn't be an 80, but if he's a starter with 70 stuff, 60 movement, 45 control, Josh Beer, what is going on, my man? How you doing, bud? Good to see ya. Got my, showed you the picture earlier. I've got my Upside Dawn Athletic Brewing Company non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, I mean, if we may, I mean, again, he's out for the year, so we're taking a chance, right? Trading for somebody who's just suffered a torn UCL, but you know, if he comes back and we make him a starter and he's got 70 stuff as a starter, I mean, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. We, however, are terrible. We are 14 now in 22. A 7-run third inning for the Cubs. That 8 players with at least 1 RBI. Stroman's been awful. Stroman's another one, but I don't know that we can get anything from Marcus Stroman. He's got an opt-out. There's no way he's opting out of this contract. You disagree with what, Josh? Yeah, it's like, I mean, 60%, I get no offers. Just curious if I bump it up to 100. Yeah, I mean, we could trade him for crap. And we could always attempt a deal and then try to back off. I think we're stuck with Stroman, unfortunately, but that's fine. And Madrigal's hitting the ball well. Madrigal and Horner are both hitting the ball well. Madrigal doesn't have the arm for third base, because that's ideally where I'd like him. I mean, Horner's infield range screams middle infield. He could play third, but his arms, his range screams middle infield. And then Dansby Swanson is the same way. So there is like I've got 3 players to play second, third, and short. His take in Canadian exports. You don't like Brash? Taillon's been bad too. Holy crap. Look at this contract. Okay. It depends, Breeze. Like in the last season of my Red Sox save, I signed 4. Year prior to that, I signed 1. So it all depends. All depends on whether or not, because I'm not always going after the best player. I'm going after what I think is the best bargain. So, I mean, I would be happy to trade for Tyler Ivey, but yeah, I mean, some of these contracts are just really, really bad. We're just going to sort of have to deal with it for a while. Let's keep going. Swanson's ready. All right. So now what? Who's not hitting? Well, everybody's not hitting. Send McKinstry down. I can't send McKinstry down. Super. Look at this. Look at all these players with negative WAR. You love to see it. Does McKinstry bring us anything? I mean, I could just DFA him. Trade him. You have Ivy and Amar. I mean, I would pick him up just to rid myself of, 90, or rid myself of 10% of Tyone's contract. It's kind of what we're looking at. We can get Peter Lambert for Zach McKinstry. That's not awful. If those are real ratings, if they're that, it's awful, but yeah, Pete, that's a great question. I don't have an answer to it. I haven't really looked to try. I haven't looked to either trade it or trade for more of it. You might have to do it. I don't know when you do it, because I know you can't, like, from the trade screen, it has the option down here, but it's not highlightable. So, yeah, I don't know if that's something you can, like, I don't know when the dates are that you have to do this. It might be an off-season thing. I haven't checked. But, yeah, it's currently grayed out. So what are we doing? What are we going to do here? We got to call up Swanson. I like to see that. I got to call up Swanson and send somebody else down. Patrick Wisdom at $1.73. You can go back to the minors. All right. So now signed an 80 potential high work ethic international free agent catcher. Yeah, and that's one of the, like, that never would have happened, Breeze, in any other version of Out of the Park baseball. It just wouldn't. So the fact that you can do that now is really cool. I think it's just added a whole nother level of just a whole another level of strategy to the game. All right, so I just got done saying I didn't want to put Madrigal at third. Stick Horner over there, I guess. I don't really want to do that. I'd rather leave Swanson, or I'd rather leave Horner at short, but where is Swanson? Dansby, shortstop, DH. Let's move Swanson up, swap these guys like that. Have Madrigal batting towards the bottom. And can Mancini play first? He can. So have Mancini come in for Hosmer and play first base against lefties. All right. Twins trying to cheese you for a pitcher, and the guy wants $2.6 million. Yeah, Pete, it's the international free agency really will help those teams with little to no budget, because, yeah, as FJ just said, you can sign one guy for $5 million or 10 guys for $500K. You really and you can find the guys that you want. In my offline save, this last international amateur season, I think I had $5.1 million or something like that, and I signed an 18-year-old catcher with like 80, 75, 80 offensive ratings, and then I signed three-star pitchers, all of which had high work ethic, all of which that had low league interest, and I got them all for less than $1 million each. So it's just, you find the players that work for you. All right, so our new look lineup puts up 12 runs and 14 hits. I'm going to go turn the light on, guys. Hang on. don't know why I wear the headphones. I wear them. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I wear the headphones. I don't need to hear anything else, but I wear them anyway. I don't know how good the camera shot is with me sitting like this, but we'll see. All right, let's just keep going. But yeah, you can. It adds, like I said, it just adds a whole lot more strategy to the international free agency than saying, I like this guy, I'm going to offer him $5 million and hope that he signs with me. Gives you another way to find prospects, right? Without haven't gotten as far as doing a rookie draft. Well, we'll get to the rookie draft tonight. The draft hasn't changed. Draft is pretty much the same, so you'll see that here. Back-to-back, is that back-to-back shutouts? It is. 2-0 shutout and then a 3-0 shutout. Dansby's up over 300. Suzuki's still looking for that first home run of the year. I want to look at the scouting reports on... Still waiting on the reply for him and Brash, right? I would prefer Brash. If I'm choosing one, I'm choosing Brash, but I don't like the injury. I mean, his injury proneness is normal, so it could just be a one-time thing, and then we're done with it. David, greetings from Honduras to a fellow Red Sox fan. Yes, sir, 100% through and through. I've been living in Chicago now since 99, so I've been living in Chicago for really almost as long as I lived in Boston. No, more than that now, right? I moved to Boston when I was almost. I moved to Chicago when I was 24 rather, and I'm 47 now. So been in Chicago almost as long as I was in Boston. But if somebody asks me where I'm from, I still say Boston. They ask me where I live, I say Chicago. They ask me where I'm from, I say Boston. It's just I will be a New Englander through and through until the day I die. But anyway, welcome. So we got Honduras represented. We got Brazil represented. I know we got Canada represented. Jim Jams, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you since last baseball season. I am so ready for opening day, my good friend. Thursday. I am super ready. We've lost a lot of games in a row. We had those 2 shutouts against Minnesota, and then I think we lost like 4 or 5 straight games. Yeah, Tyone, this is really discouraging. I mean, he wasn't bad for the Yankees last year, but, I mean, why would the Cubs give him $14 million a season for 4 years? Or, yeah. Just, it's so bad. Hopefully he gets hurt and retires. You're ready to get hurt again? Man, you got a lot to be excited about in Seattle. You really do. Got some talent out there, man. Got some talent. Be excited about Luis Castillo in your starting rotation. He's a stud. Yeah, you got some talent out there. Now, my Red Sox, on the other hand, not so much. Not so much with my Red Sox this year. Yoshida, watching him in the World Baseball Classic, I was excited, but yeah, right. 35 movement fly ball pitcher in Wrigley. Yeah, no, he's gonna be bad. Yeah, I mean, Raffy, he looks, he's going to be a, 30 and 100 guy for hopefully the next decade. I mean, they got some talent, but his pitching staff is a whole lot of question marks. Kluber's getting the opening day start for them. Kluber's starting for him on Thursday. So, or Friday or whenever opening day is for them. Kluber, Sale, Whitlock was dominant out of the bullpen last year, but was just pedestrian as a starting pitcher. Pivetta had his up and downs. I think they fixed their bullpen, but their rotation is just rough. So we will see. Hoping the Tigers do better than what they're projected because you like the new GM and what they've done so far. Detroit's got some young talent too. I mean, they've Green, Torkelson, Meadows. I mean, those are all good names. What they need is Miggy to just say, I'm done playing baseball, right? You need Miguel to just step away and say, I'm done playing baseball, because that contract is hamstringing him. But you need those young guys, right? Mize and Skubal, and Matt Manning to a lesser extent, and Job and Pacheco, and I mean they got some young talent too. But this is the time of year where everybody's optimistic, right? That's the whole point of spring. Everyone is optimistic. All right, Mets loss. Retiring after this year, good. You get that $30 million off the books and invest it elsewhere. Look at Eric Hosmer with his .322 batting average out of the leadoff spot. I'm a genius. I am a genius batting Eric Hosmer leadoff. And hopefully we can end up trading him. Mancini's hitting okay. Swanson at 260. Bellinger still sitting under 200. Of course you do. The Jays are another team that, but you expect it, right? I mean, you expect the American League East this year really to be a race between the Yankees, the Rays, and the Jays. I don't expect the Sox to be in it, and it's usually when I don't expect them to be in it that they're in it. But yeah, the Jays, the Yankees, and the Rays. Those are the teams that I expect in the American League East. I like adding Whit Merrifield. I like adding Whit. I think that's a solid pickup for them. Play all over the place. I like that pickup. And then obviously Vlad and Boba Shet. He looks pretty good. Yeah, wasn't that was a couple of months ago, wasn't it? That he said that and got raked over the coals for it and then had to apologize for it. What am I doing? Cubs. Let's keep going. Oh, good. Hendricks rehab is up. So who? Rowan Wick has been terrible. Michael Fulmer has been terrible. Well, let's start by taking Fulmer out of a setup role because he's been that bad. Let's lean on Hayden. He's pitching well. So let's put him in a setup role and middle relief. Varsho and Kiermaier, yeah. Yeah, I liked the Varsho deal. I mean, you had to give up a ton to get him, but Moreno was blocked, so it makes sense in some respects. And then Kiermaier's never going to hit, but Kiermaier is the real life, RJ Mayer, right? I mean, he's never going to hit enough, but the glove carries him. Does anybody want Fulmer? We can just trade him, and then we can call up Hendricks and put him in the rotation. Of course not. What if we retained $4 million? Being a Reds fan must be painful. Yeah, I mean, every team goes through ups and downs, right? I mean, they were good in the early 90s, and obviously that was a long time ago, but same could be said about the Mariners, though, FJ, right? I mean, same could be said about the Mariners. Steven, thank you, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I used to, back in my early out of the park baseball days, and you can go back and see the threads are still there. I used to post my games on the out of the park forums. Instead of doing live streams like this, I would play the games and I would go onto the forum and I would type up what happened and I would post that. You can go back and look. I'm on the forums as Big Poppy. You can actually go back to the forum, search for my name, and go back to 2007, 2008, and you can see threads I had up there with out of the park series, and I've always done this, and I appreciate you saying that. I'm gonna do it either way because it's fun for me, but I appreciate that you're getting something out of it, and I appreciate that I can help. I appreciate your words, so thank you. All right, Tyone's terrible. He's just terrible, but I mean, would you just take him out of the rotation and just stick Smiley in? Not Smiley's going to be any better with the 40 movement in Wrigley. So who can we send to them? Can Fulmer go to the minors? Will he go to the minors? He refuses to be demoted. All right, Rowan Wick. Will he go to the minors? He will. All right. We'll call up Hendricks. Yeah, in year one, I'm really not expecting anything. Like, this is just not going to be a good season. Moneyball was your first introduction to baseball. That's really interesting to hear people say that, because it really signaled a new, just a completely new way of looking at the game. I mean, for 120 years, people played this game where people built teams based off of batting average and RBIs and just and stats that have been proven to not really matter, and then all of a sudden, this movie comes out and highlights, the way that the A's and on a higher scale, the Red Sox and Yankees put their teams together and how they were able to be so successful in the early 2000s. And to find that there are people who didn't really follow baseball until like Moneyball was the standard way of doing things is interesting. All right, so we're playing the only team worse than us. We'll take a look at stats at the end of May. Oh, I want to look at where is. All right, so we got some updates. So yeah, Sixto Sanchez is just okay. Max Meyer Meyer's not terrible, but again, out for 8 months. Gratterall, 55, 75, 70 for Gratterall. And then Brash. I feel like Brash is the move, because he's potentially a starter, but I'm scared to death that we pick up Brash and the injury wrecks him. I mean, not that it really matters. We're not going to re-sign Happ, and this gives us at least a lottery ticket for somebody who could be a stud. What got you into Out of the Park? Used to play football. I've played a couple of the Football Manager games. I have, what do I have on Steam here? I've got Football Manager 2018 and 2021 in my Steam library. I played a lot of 2018, but I only played MLS because I don't understand the financials of soccer enough to really play it too in depth. So I ended up only playing MLS because this financials are very similar to other American sports. So we're gonna make that deal, or attempt to make that deal, for Matt Brash. I think is going to be the pickup. How much do we have to retain? So they think it's a toss-up, but let's see if we can get them to take 30%. We'll get Matt Brash back. They'll probably ask us to throw something in, which I'm fine with. Send through this doubleheader against the Reds. Oh, a doubleheader sweep. It's one of your favorite movies. You played football. As long as you can remember, having another spreadsheet game is amazing. Yeah, it's the people who make the Football Manager franchise, I think, do a great job. I was always a huge fan of East Side Hockey Manager. That was my East Side Hockey Manager was like my second favorite game before Franchise Hockey Manager. I used to play the crap out of it. So yeah, they do a great game too. Nico Horner, 4 for 6 with 3 RBIs in the first game, and in the second game, Ian Happ, 2 for 4, 5 RBIs in his swan song swan song to in his potential final game here with the Chicago Cubs. All right, we'll sim ahead, see if we get that answer from Seattle yet. Is it showing up here? Okay, where is the trade? Seattle. Matt Brash. Oh, and Horner's hurt again. Come on. Ian Happ. Oh, maybe I have to retain more now. Yeah, I have to retain more. Apparently Seattle took on some money between the contract offers. All right, so now we have to take on 60%, which I'm still okay with. Almost, yeah. You love Eastside. Yeah, me too. I wish, I like the fact that it's still updated by the fans of the game. Like you can get, a new season every year. But there are things about the game I don't like. I think it's really clunky in terms of how you maneuver around it. That's why I prefer Franchise Hockey Manager. But ultimately, I think they're both great games. All right, so they will take Ian Happ and 40% of his contract. They'll send us Matt Brash, but we got to send him something back. Is there any Jeremiah? No, Estrada is almost the same player, so that doesn't make any sense. Luke Little, Cade Horton. I like the pitches from Horton. What if I take more? Let's see if taking more changes, because I really don't want to give up any more players. Horner's out for 5 weeks. Well, that's just crap. That means Wisdom comes back up. Nelson Velasquez, he's not ready. Oh, my nose is super itchy. I got to shave. I think that's the problem. I think my beard's just getting out of control. Okay. Madrigal. Did we get an answer from them on this second trade offer? Okay, so it does. We do have some different options here, which is fine. 65% catcher ability, or not ability, but Kevin Made. He's good defensively. Madrigal, Neidert, or Palencia. Yeah, I'm fine with Nick Neidert. So now, and this is another new feature built into the game, when I complete a trade, you'll see that my reputation will go up. And as your reputation increases, it becomes easier to make deals with other organizations. And it's just one of those little things that they've added to the game that I think is pretty cool. So we're going to send Ian Happ to the Seattle Mariners, along with Nick Neidert, in exchange for Matt Brash. Brash is out for the season. And I'll immediately make him a starter and see what it does to his stuff. But, this is a lottery ticket. If Brash comes back and he's healthy next season, 75 fastball, 75/80 slider, a 60 knuckle curve, he could be an absolute stud for us. Let's go ahead and do that. We have to go to designated for assignment. Let's put Brash on the 60-day. Let's go to the 60-day. Let's go to the, where am I going? Injured list. Matt Brash. And let's just see what happens when we make him a starter. Awesome. 75 stuff. Let's go. Let's go. And we'll leave him in there as a starter. So that way, if he stays healthy, he's a ground ball pitcher with 75 stuff, 60 movement, and 2++ pitches. I will take that in a heartbeat. Cocaine heartbeat, as they say. So that's our first deal. That is our first deal. We trade Ian Happ to FJ's Seattle Mariners. Now we got to call somebody up, as we now do not have a left fielder. Well, I guess technically we have a left fielder. Who can we call up? I don't think Brennan Davis is ready. I mean, he's hitting, but I don't want to start that clock yet. No reason to. This is a lost season for us. So let's call up. Yeah, we'll call up Velazquez. He can bat. He can play left field against lefties, and we will bat Madrigal leadoff. And McKinstry can come in and play left field against righties. Do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Logan Gilbert. I traded for Logan Gilbert in my Arizona save last season, and I was super excited, and he never developed, and it made me sad. All right, it's June 1st. We had updates. Player development. Anything of note? McKinstry gets worse. Jordan Wicks. Average pitcher. Nick Birdie. Any of our... There we go. Pete Crow Armstrong. That's what I like to see. That's good development right there from PCA. Man, he's going to be so good. Birdsell got better. Ballesteros overall got better. Alcantara got better. That's nice to see. Cassie got a little worse, but those ratings are still fine. Okay. All right. Well, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. Let's keep going. Took us an hour and 20 minutes to play 2 months. 6-4 loss. So who's next on the chopping block? Because that's kind of the way I'm looking at this. You know, who do we have to trade that we either can't bring back next year, won't bring back next year? And we got Hendricks and Bellinger. Bellinger may be worth something because of his age and because of that defense. He's not hitting particularly well, but oh, excuse me. Yeah, Luis Gil. I can pick up another injured pitcher. 70 stuff, 50 movement. Extreme fly ball pitcher. What if we retained? Yuri Gurriel. Not much else. All right. What if we retained 100%? Just for S's and G's, as they say. I hope so. I hope so, Pete. He's the type of player, and FJ and I were joking earlier in the game. One of our favorite out of the park baseball players is RJ Mayer. And RJ Mayer, for those of you who don't know, is the kind of the he's not showing. Why is he not showing up on there? It's because it's Mayer. One of we absolutely love RJ Mayer because he's sort of the player we hope that RNG will get a hold of at some point, and you'll see that offensive jump. He is. We hope that he'll develop, and his ratings in this don't look terrible. That's a draftable player right there. I'm looking forward to that. Can you change the font? I don't know. I haven't looked. It is definitely different. You can change the skin. The goat. That's right. You can change the skin. I don't know if you guys can see this screen. I don't know if this pops up or not. It doesn't look like you can change. Oh, you can change the font. There you go. Right there. Take that back. Yep, there is an option to change the font right in the middle, so you can change it back if you want to. I'm going to leave it the way it is for now. Speaking of changing, though, I did want to... Okay, it is. I wanted to make sure this was set up on 3x3. Let's keep simming, otherwise it's going to take us forever to get to the draft. But yeah, Pete, I sure hope so. And when the thing about one of the things that I love about Out of the Park baseball is it makes me aware of players that I wouldn't otherwise be aware of, right? So when the Cubs traded Javi Baez to the Mets for PCA a couple of years ago, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm going, that's a really good deal for the Cubs. Crow Armstrong is going to be so good defensively. And if he can just hit for the league average, he'll be an extremely valuable player. With no max on, the outfield range was 105. Yeah, it's crazy. RJ Mayer is the GOAT. And in my offline save with the Red Sox, I just called him up to the major leagues because I wanted to see what happened. And I want to say he's hitting like 200 through the first 2 months of the season, but he's playing. His ratings were similar to what they showed up here, but they were maxed out. What was I doing? Oh, we're going to look at this. 6-run top of the ninth. Let's go. Grand slam from Trey Mancini. Wisniewski's been good. So if the game does use the where am I going? This. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? The game does use this. The current year stats should give Hayden a bit of a bump. Yeah, I draft Mayer every year too. Every single year I draft him. Oh, Cody Hoyer. That's what we were doing. We were figuring out what we were going to do with Cody Hoyer. Where is he? Right there. I don't really care because he's not particularly good. Let's just do this real quick. It's a weird way to have to do this, but all right, let's keep going. There are a couple players like that. Back in Out of the Park 22, I used to draft Luke Lito every single year because you could get him to develop as either a bat or a pitcher. Yeah, we are a bad team. Hey, we won. We beat San Francisco. Look at that. Suzuki, still only one home run from Seiya here in the first 51 games he's played. He has $16. That's really not good for $18 million a year. Where is Luke Lito now? Like in real, I don't know. He's draft eligible, apparently. So there he is. Is he listed as a pitcher? Yeah, he is. He's got 3 pitches. Could be a starter. If he's available, we'll take him. The Pirates are in first place. Excuse me. And I've been on vacation all week. I got to go back to work on Monday. I am dreading that. I wish they had released Out of the Park baseball on Monday. I had the whole week. We are now officially in last place. Are we the worst team in the league? We are the second worst team in the National League, ahead of only the Rockies. Yeah, Pete, not quite what he used to be, but still draftable. You know, I mean, he had good gap power, good home run power, a good batting eye. So still, definitely still draftable. Last place, 13 and a half games out. You know, we're already mid-June, so we really will start thinking about making some moves here shortly. And again, I refuse to be that guy who flips the team on its head in one season, but we are going to trade some players. There's no reason not to. All right. Speaking of that, let's see, Mancini. Making $7 million this year and a player option for $7 million next. Anybody want Trey? I mean, I can't imagine Gil turns into anything right now. His injury proneness is normal. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher, but he's got two great pitches. And that frees us up from $7 million contract this year. IKF. I love me some Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. What else can we get from the Yankees? Anything? Want to give us Anthony Volpe? That would be awesome. And see, this is neat. Like, it tells you not only what he thinks, but he tells you what he thinks they're going to say as well. Good reliever. Yeah. I mean, assuming the stuff is what it actually is. I mean, that sounds weird, but you know, if the ratings come back and his ratings are what they say they are, then yeah, he's still got a decent arm. And I'm not used to playing this game with the ratings being 20 to 80. I'm usually a stars guy when it comes to the rating or when it comes to the overall. Excuse me. Ugh. Where did he go? So our scout likes this. I can't imagine theirs does, but we'll submit it. See what he says. Sometimes you'll get an offer, you'll get a response right away. If it's really bad, they'll just come back to you and say, absolutely not. I just don't like, yeah, see, it's almost there. I don't like making trades that are just for relievers unless that reliever's a stud. I don't see the need to load my roster up with bullpen arms. Strada, Hosmer, Alzolay. We could trade them Tucker Barnhart and shed like $10 million. That's not a terrible idea. $20 to $80 increments of 5. Yeah, I like the ratings that way. I'm just not used to the overall potential. I usually do my overall and potential with stars, and then the ratings are 20 to 80. So this would give us back almost $6 million. Can we get anything else out of them? Is he really that good? Oh, right. I have to edit the offer. And if I edit the offer, I actually take a trading reputation hit. So our assistant GM says if they accept this, they should fire their DM. I'm good with this. It gets us Gil, who's an upside, hard throwing reliever. And then it gets us Drew Thorpe, a 22-year-old who has 2+ pitches, a fastball that's just above average. The movement would need to develop because, again, you can't have 30 movement in Wrigley, but decent stuff, good control. Yeah. All right. So that's another day. You can see our reputation continues to increase. So now we got to call up a couple players. We'll call up a Maya. And we have to call up another bat, I think, right? Or do we? Yeah, we have 13 pitchers. We've got to trade somebody off of our pitching staff here next. Maya is now going to be our backup. Maya. What are we missing? We are missing a DH. So DH against righties will be Matt Mervis. He's in Seattle too, right, FJ? Newsom? Velasquez can back up. Morel can back up as the DH, and he'll play. So we got 4th game, 5th game, every 3rd game at DH. And then here we're missing a left fielder. And no, we're not. We're missing a first baseman. This will be Hosmer. Wow, FAU beat Kansas State. Love it. Number 9 seed in the Final Four. Let's go. Love it. McKinstry. Do I have a backup center fielder now? Who is my backup center fielder? Morel? That can't be right. I guess it is. Okay. Oh, he's in San Francisco now. How do you pronounce his name? Is it actually LJ? Extreme fly ball pitcher, though. I don't like the extreme fly ball pitcher. All right, so we made another deal. Financially, we're getting to the point where we can start reinvesting our money into other places, right? Because we have to get this back to 0 before we can start putting money into scouting and development. Our budget goes from our payroll goes from 146 million this year to 170 next million. That's going to be a problem. Adrian Sampson, no. He could be next. It's had a couple of days. We continue to lose. Man, these are some bad contracts. The Cubs ownership, the Ricketts family, they should be ashamed of themselves. Cubs are another one of those teams that can just print money. Invest it wisely. Hosmer with a couple of hits. Madrigal with 3. Swanson, meh. So we get 2 days off. No game today, no game tomorrow. That's odd. Adrian Sampson, let's see if we can trade him. I don't want to pay him $5 million next year. LJ. So it is LJ. That's weird. I wonder if, like, his dad's name was, like, Larry James or something like that. Instead of making his name L.J. They just named him LJ. Yeah, some of these contracts are literally just unmovable. Team option for Hendricks next year. Does anybody want Kyle? What if we retain 75% of Kyle's contract? Oof. This is ugly. All right, so at a bare minimum, what I'm going to do is this. On the block. I'm not convinced this does anything, but at a minimum, we can put these names on the block and see if anybody shows any interest. Gomes on the block. David Bodie on the block. Does anybody want Smiley? If I retain 70. Yeah, Hendricks is gone next season. It's a team option. Obviously, we won't pick that up. But if we can get anything back for him, that's not. Yeah, I'd say I can't get anything back on any of these players, even retaining. So maybe that's something we do. If we have a player like Hendricks that we know we're not bringing back next season, and we can't get anything for him without retaining, maybe we just retain 100% and see if we can get anything at all back for him. Do I keep on playing it? Do I plan on keeping Swanson and Suzuki for the duration of their contracts? I don't know. I mean, Swanson's really good defensively, but that bat is, it is what it is, right? I mean, he's on pace this year to hit 7 home runs in 112 games, and that's certainly not what, worth the $27 million that they're paying him for the next 5 years. Suzuki, again, if we were contenders, I would be fine with Suzuki, putting up the numbers that he's putting up, batting second and putting up a 750 OPS and playing good outfield and, whatever. But we're 20 games under 500. It's just not worth it. The short answer is I don't know. It's unlikely, but it's also unlikely that anybody will take them. So who knows? When we get to July 1st, we'll take a look at league standings and for realism's sake. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to actively try to trade Dansby Swanson. I mean, you build around him. He also has the same birthday as me. So, same deal with Nico Horner. Like, I don't want to trade Nico Horner. He's 26 years old. He's, his contract, is his contract up too? Oh, he's ARB eligible. Okay. There are some players that I'd like to hold on to, but there's not a lot on this pitching staff, right? There's just not much there that's worth anything. Suzuki, he's only got 3 years left after this one, 2018 and 18. So, maybe we keep him this year, maybe we keep him next year, and then maybe trade him at the deadline in 2025. You really like the international guys who come in? You mean at free agency or the international free agency? Guys who come in when the season kicks over to regular free agency? Yeah, I found some good players that way too. So we won a game. We won this game 8-2. Swanson with 2 home runs. Home runs 4 and 5. So just as I knock his bat, it's a couple of home runs. Let's get to July 1st. Doubleheader today against the Phillies. Thinking about it. Win one, lose one. Whereas Alzolay, right now he's in the minors. Wisdom is hurt. There's Bodie. We'll call him back up. Yeah, he's in the minors. And he's been good. He needs to come up. Merriweather's been bad. Fulmer's been bad. Tyon's been bad. Can I send Merriweather down? Nope. That's the other problem, is that there's almost no flexibility with this roster. Rip Honkball, yeah. Rip Honkball, rip the Australian League, which is one that I used to find a lot of international free agents. I'm shocked that they were able, that Marcus and the team was able to have all of these leagues and all of the team names without any licensing. Like, I'm amazed that it didn't come up before that, honestly. Dalton Guthrie. Oh, excuse me. Could play all over the place. He's not bad. You're not a fan of the out-of-the-park generated ones, but the ones who are posted from other leagues. Yeah, that's fair. This guy's not bad. He can't really hit, but I mean, he can't. According to his ratings, he can't hit, but he hit 300 in Lehigh last year. He's hitting 280 this year. This is a trade that would really help us. Okay, I can't even. All right, that's fine. Let's just submit that. I'd be good with that. And in the meantime, we will. What will I do? We'll just sim ahead today is what we'll do. Hosmer's out for 2 weeks. You're surprised more games communities don't get bunked for unlicensed stuff. Yeah, no, you're right. It's, a lot of these games, like one of the other companies whose games I like are the Wolverines studio game. Their draft day sports games, and they don't have licenses, but there are people who create mods that have all the logos, the names, photos of the players and coaches and everything else, and it's just allowed to just continue. It's just allowed to continue, and nobody says anything about it. Bummed to see Wisniewski isn't good enough to be a starter without some lucky development. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm trying to talk and move people around at the same time. Did they really? Manchester United took Football Manager to court recently. Wow. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Shawnee. That Wisniewski, the game doesn't like him as much as you would hope. And he hasn't had a bad year for us, 120 ERA plus. I mean, he's pitched pretty well. But you're right. As a starter, it's just not there. Did the trade go through? Patrick Wisdom has accident. Oh, okay. So he injured his hamstring running through his neighborhood to keep in shape. Well, all right. That's a thing, I guess. Top 100 prospects. There are no Cubs. Where does our minor league system rank? 14th. Ballesteros, Crow Armstrong, Alcantara, and Cassie. All right. Yeah, Hosmer has actually played really well for us, too. 292, 372, 403. He's been batting leadoff for us most of the year, but now we have to make other changes to our lineup. What are we missing? 2 batters, right? Because I just moved 2 players to the injured list. We'll call up Edwin Rios. He's got some power. Maybe he can do something. Hosmer is getting paid the minimum this year from the Cubs. It's easy to do that, though, when you're making like $14 million being paid by the Red Sox and the Padres. What are we missing? First, second, we're missing a third baseman. Alcantara can play third, right? Yep. He's got that arm. Madrigal will go to the leadoff spot. McKinstry will bat second. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. First thing you did after opening the game was check to see the updated ratings on the important players I have in online leagues. Really? You don't know how there's always, when you make the transition from one game to another, there's always something that doesn't carry over. Like, you're going to see some really weird stuff when the game goes from 23 to 24 in the leagues that we're in. I'm missing a first baseman still. Both my first basemen bat lefty. Of course they do. Okay, stick Rios out there. Let's get to July 1st. First thing you did was fix the ballpark. Are they wrong, Shawnee? The actual dimensions are wrong for Baltimore and Toronto? All right, Horner is back. We can just go ahead and send Bodie right back down. Horner in at second. It's not what I wanted to do, really, but that's okay. Second, and Madrigal really doesn't have the arm for third, but no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it this way. Right, I put Horner at third. That is what I did. Horner was my third baseman, and Madrigal was my second baseman. If you could stay healthy, that would be wonderful. Pitcher went from 20 to 20 to 2080, and yeah, there's some weird things that happen in online saves. All right, so we're close. So I can send them. You want 31-year-old Trey Lang? Sure. So Merriweather retained and Trey Lang for Dalton Guthrie. Guthrie's going to give us another one of those players who can play all over the infield and outfield. Gets rid of Merriweather, who's been really bad, and that is fine. All right. and that was going to have me call up Azalea. Make him a middle reliever. They never updated. Oh, right. They moved the left field fence out. That's right. Okay. How's Brash doing? Okay, the rate. I'm really concerned that I'm going to look up in the ratings. Brash's stuff is going to be down to a 50. But again, we gave up somebody that we weren't bringing back, so it's not the end of the world. We got a few days until the draft. When we get to the draft, I'm going to go grab myself another non-alcoholic beer, and we will do the draft. Brewers. We were 6-2 as well, so we have gone 25-50 in our last 75 games. McKinstry 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Bellinger has 4 RBIs. He's somebody I really would like to move. I'm surprised that there's no interest in him at all, given the contract is reasonable. He's still a really good defensive player. Do I not have... That's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go here. Did I not turn... I didn't. Personalities on. Oh yeah, Shawnee. We are RJ Mayer is he's our Buddha. He's if I get a statue made of RJ Mayer, absolutely. And the best part about it is that I know I can look up in like the 12th round and he'll still be there. Yeah, you're right, because we're basing it off of this player evaluations. I mean, the ratings still hold a higher rate than the stats, but you're right. You're right, Shawnee. Between this year and last year, yeah, he was a 1 WAR player last year, 0 WAR this year. So I love the fact that everybody here is like, "Yep, RJ Mayer is the GOAT." Like this is the only place in the world where you can get 27 people all to agree that RJ Mayer is the GOAT. Yeah, I draft him in every save too. We've actually already looked at him once here today, but we'll continue to pull him up. This is how he looks so far this year, and you know what? If those ratings are legit, that's a passable backup outfielder, right? I mean, that's Christian Pache right there, Pete. If those ratings develop. Where's the power in my lineup? There is no power in my lineup. I am power deficient. Bellinger leads my team with 7, along with Morel and Hosmer. I mean, if we were even remotely competitive, Bellinger is somebody that I would hold on to because of the things I mentioned. The high work ethic, the outfield range, the eye and discipline. That being said, more than likely, here's our starting center fielder next year. I mean, he's tearing up Double-A. Do you play with max ratings off, Shawnee? 50 home run power silver slugger incoming. Yeah, he's gonna be an all-world player with the 45 contact, and yeah, I mean Bellinger just got a bump in his ratings. I mean, if he can give me anything, because at $12 million, if he's a 2 WAR player at $12 million, that's value. So I don't know. We'll see. Brendan Davis got better. That's nice. He'll probably be up before the year's over. Ben Leeper. Pete, I don't. It's just he's one of those players that just has, he's just developed and he has that ability. I mean, if you look up what happens if you sort of information is out there about Mr. RJ Mayer. I don't know. It just gives me a prep baseball report. Bat speed. Oh, that's interesting. 89. What does this mean? 89 offensive velocity. 89 OF. I don't know what that means. You picked up Bellinger in your Giants save. He's doing pretty well. Yeah, it's his rating. His ratings tell me that he should be like, I don't know that he's ever gonna get back to this Cody Bellinger, but there's got to be something in between, right? Like, to go from 6 WAR to -1, like there has to be something in between here. If he could give me 2 WAR for, well, I assume how hard he throws in the outfield. Okay, he had an 89 outfield velocity, whatever that means. So I don't really know, but I mean that makes sense. But I don't know why that would be the one rating they list for him. But at any rate, we got some growth here from some of our younger players. I forgot to move Thorpe up. Let's move him. He had been pitching an A-ball. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. This is nice to see right here. Wow. The changeup, you got that changeup that's probably never going to develop. He's probably a reliever, but he's got a bat too. He's got a stick. Could just be a typo that they meant to make him like a 50 or something. So with Josh, we're talking about errors with ballparks. So in our online league where I moved Oakland up to Portland, Dave, when he created my stadium, instead of creating a 43,000 seat stadium, he created a 43 seat stadium. So I sold out my season tickets in like a week, but I only had 37 season tickets sold. So my potential budget was like a third of what it was going to be the year before. So he had to go in and he had to edit it. What are the stolen base titles? It's clear that I haven't looked. We haven't really looked at much of the standings yet. Right here. Oh yeah, we had 33 stolen bases for Michael Harris. He's on pace for 62. Acuna's got 32. Yeah, so you got totals here that are already surpassed next season. Yeah, yes, Swamper. It was not good because I was pulling up my budget, and I play as Oakland, so I don't have a big budget to begin with, and I just moved them to Portland to get a bump in fan interest and some other stuff, and I kept looking at my financials, and I'm like, why do I only have 37 season tickets sold? Why do I only have 37 and it wasn't changing. I went to like 3 sims. So I went to our commissioner and I said, something's not right. Like, I don't know if maybe the game still thinks like I'm in Oakland, but the ballpark is in Portland. So people aren't paying for season tickets. And he comes back and he goes, yeah, you only had a 43 seat stadium. I'm like, all right, well, you need to fix that so that I don't have a $12 budget next season. But yeah, stolen bases look like they are significantly up. 32 for 35 for Acuna. Estuary Ruiz is 27 for 33. So yeah, it's increased. Benjamin, you're playing the Cubs. You're playing the Whites. You're playing the rivals. You're playing the Cardinals, I'm guessing. Is that right? The Cardinals? Is that who you would consider their rival? To be fair, I'm not a Cubs fan. I am a through and through Red Sox fan. But the Cubs, when I play these games, I usually pick teams that have almost no budget at all. I always pick teams with really bad budgets, so I figured give myself a bit of a break here and go with a team like the Cubs. All right, we got to keep going. We got to get to the draft here. Ruiz is on track for 55. Yeah, you talked about him in your second. And I'm going to give you a shout out again. So those of you who want another out of the park channel to watch, go check out Skinny Pete. He's playing the Oakland A's right now. A couple of episodes into that one. Go show him some love, please. Yeah, you talked about him. You talked about him in your second episode. It's nice to find players that you don't think are going to be part of it, who end up being part of your rebuild. Shawnee, I'm sorry that we're 31 and 55 right now, but it's going to be a couple of years here, I think, as we get rid of some of these contracts. I'm just amazed. I knew the Cubs hadn't done a lot, but I was amazed when I saw how bad this roster actually was and some of the contracts that this front office handed out. Like this contract to Taillon, whoever gave this out should literally be fired and never hired again at any level of professional baseball. This is just atrocious. It's absolutely untradeable. So all I can do is hope that he gets hurt and that he retires. Ninth, I think draft is the 11th. Let's finish today and then we'll look at the All-Star game. See who made the All-Star team as a Cub. We win. We win our last game going into the All-Star break. Go us. Rios with 3 home runs already. So we wanted some power. We got some power there. Edwin Rios, 3 home runs in 29 at bats. You'll like that. Yeah, Shawnee, you're right. The middle infield is that's the one thing you look at with the Cubs with Horner and Swanson and go, all right, they're in good shape. And then Madrigal can do it as well. Madrigal is a good second baseman as well. Contact guy. But yeah, they've got 3 good players for 2 positions. Do I have injury setbacks on? Yeah, I do. All right, let's look at. I don't even care about this because I'll give you credit. When I asked you to upgrade the team at All-Star, I listened. Dansby Swanson was a nice addition to our club. I didn't do that, but you're welcome. Fan engagement is lagging. It's because we're 23 games under 500. All-Star game rosters. Oh, Swamper, you're in that league. I didn't even. Okay, you're in. Good to see somebody else from the league hopping in here. Yeah, I have a lot of players that I've got 1 or 2 players that are elite, and then I got a lot of players that are really good. So I think this is the year my team breaks out. At least that's the hope. I won the World Series in year 1 in that league, by the way. In 2022, I won the World Series. So year 1 of that, I was the defending champion. And then I had to trade Chapman and Olsen because I couldn't afford them. Who made the All-Star team? Mark Leiter Jr. made the All-Star team for the Cubs, and that is it. Yeah, Matthew, you're right. It's pretty clearly right here. He's been terrible. I haven't played enough of 24 to know if it's an overrated or an overriding thing, but yeah, so far he's been awful. Are there any popular players to give minor league contracts? Whoa, okay. Let's see. You hate Madrigal. Okay. Why do you hate Madrigal? Because he played for the White Sox? It's not his fault. Are there any popular players to give minor league contracts to? I don't know. It's a good question. It's always it's always a fun way to sort of game the system a little bit, right? That's not where I wanted to go. You could sign Rich Hill, but I don't know if signing him to a minor league contract does anything. I think he has to be on the major league roster. I can sign him to a minor league contract. I don't think it's going to do anything, though. Town is very mediocre. It's a bummer that Assad and Wisniewski are underrated and out of the park, so they can't really step in. Pete, who are you talking about? You're talking about what's his name? The Ruiz, right? You're talking about Ruiz. Do I do any different setup on my manage? Yes. I have I haven't gotten there yet, but I have my assistant GM take care of the minor league personnel. I can't be bothered to hire a dozen coaches every year. So I just let the assistant GM do that, but I handle everything else. You didn't realize that you joined in 20. Yeah, I took over with the A's right at the end of spring training of the first season. I was recruited by one of the other guys over in my Discord, Random Task. He recruited me to that league, and I've been there ever since. Javier Assad is really exciting, especially after his WBC performance. Yeah, he got interviewed by a local... He was being interviewed by one of the local TV stations. I saw it. Was it yesterday, I think? Maybe it's today. Shawnee, who are you talking about? Oh, Assad? Yeah, he's okay. We got one more day. Let's get to the draft. I'm going to go grab another non-alcoholic beer, and we'll do the draft. All right, it's draft day. I'll be right back. I'm going to go blow my nose, too, see if I can make it stop itching. Jorge Juan. I don't know who that is. Okay, good stuff. Hyped for draft day. Yeah, me too. Me too. Our first draft with the Cubs. Oh, and I also... Where is I... This was... Forgot, or we. I say we like you guys have any control here. I forgot to put him on the injured list, and he will be in AAA. $60-40. Yeah, it's Happy RJ Mayer Day is what today is. All right, let's get to the draft. And we're going to lean heavy hitters here, I think. Yep. All right, so we'll go pick by pick. We are picking, I think, 13th. So the Pirates take. They take a pitcher, Chase Dollander, 21-year-old out of the University of Tennessee. Pretty good. 4 good pitches. Movement and control still a bit ways away, but not a bad top pick. Washington takes Max Clark, 80 contact, center fielder, $11.5 million demand. Detroit, Jacob Gonzalez, another high contact bat. I don't like players who have low gap power. I would never have taken him this high, especially given that he's not a shortstop. With those ratings, he is truly a second baseman. In my Red Sox save, that's the one I've been playing pretty much nonstop for 5 days now. Cruz went number 1 to Pittsburgh, and he was on their big league team the next year. Texas, picking with the number 4 pick, takes Dylan Cruz. Okay. Well, he's not as good in this one. Twins will take Paul Skeens. Yeah, he was the one I was saying earlier that I saw on Twitter today that some scout said that Skeens he had never seen a better college pitcher than Paul Skeens. Gap powers, doubles, and triples. Yeah, but for me, if somebody doesn't have my type is high gap power, high batting eye. If the control's a little bit low and the avoid K is low, I don't care. But I try not to draft players who have low gap power. Former Nationals legend. That's right. Dylan Cruz was our first pick with the Nationals. Oakland takes Enrique Bradfield. Okay, very good defensive outfielder from Vandy. Be a leadoff hitter for a decade if the bat develops with that speed and I and avoid K. Cincinnati, Dylan Cupp. High contact, high gap power, potential shortstop. Range is probably still a little low. He's probably more of a second baseman, but he doesn't look too bad. How am I finding the new international free agent? I love it, Shawnee. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love the international free agency. I was talking to FJ in Discord earlier today, and I said it's such a minor change that makes such a huge difference from a strategy perspective. I love it. I absolutely love it. The pitching ninja tweet on Skeens was insane. He was throwing out. Yeah, like I said, I just saw it in passing that he said that he was the best college pitcher he had ever seen. You didn't get the pitcher you wanted. Yeah, Shawnee, and that's the thing that I love about it. In my last international signing, I ended up signing 4 players. I signed a 5-star catcher with like 80 contacts, 75 gap power, 80 home run power. And then I signed 3 3-star pitchers, all for less than $100,000. Like, it was great. FJ, you like high contact, high eye, and high avoid K. Those are like high eye I like, but for me it's eye, power, and gap. Good variety of guys you can let. Yeah, it means teams hate. Yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time trying to trade international free agent money, but yeah. Where are we? What pick are we on? That doesn't help. Oh, we're right here. Trey Morgan goes to Kansas City, a first baseman. I don't like that pick. Pick number 9 goes to the Rockies, and they take Kevin McGonigal. Really high contact. The guy I'm looking at is Walter Jenkins, but the issue is we can't afford him. $8 million, like, oh, he's so good. But we only have like $5 million in draft capital this year, so we're gonna have to be really. The game thinks we're taking Batanti, which we might, but got a catcher with 70 catcher ability and all. Hitting 60 hitting attributes for like 1.5 million. Worst case, he helps. Yeah, I mean, but for 1.5 million, you're not as busted up about it as if you dumped your entire $5 million free agency budget and he turns into nothing, right? Noticing a lot more pitcher volatility and 24 velocity bumps. Oh, really? I haven't paid a lot of attention to that. Trade for cash. Can we do that? The problem is we're a net negative right now, so any cash we got would go here before it went into here. I mean, if we could pick up $5 million somehow, trade anybody for cash. I mean, that's a ton of money. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like, I don't know how the game values cash. Tonti was drafted 31st. And your save is already down to a 30. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, what if can we get... Problem is, we would need to make the deal today, and I don't know that... 23 cash was... Yeah, the problem is I need to be able to make deals like now, right? Like I can't... I think the easiest way to make it to pick up cash right that... Well, you know what? Let's get to our pick. It may not even be a factor by the time we get there. The player might be gone. All right, so it should be Marlins, Angels, D-backs, right? Yeah, Marlins. Yeah, they took Jenkins, so it doesn't even matter. Angels take Dean West, $10 million. And Arizona takes Campbell Soup Smithwick. That's an interesting first-round pick. All right, so here we go. We've got Batanti, who's got the power. Got the gap power, got the home run power, high loyalty, high adaptability. He is not a shortstop. He's probably not even a third baseman. I mean, the arm's a 55. It's passable. So he's really a bat. And I don't know that even if you have no money, as long as you pay the guy slot or less. Right, that's a good point. That's thank you, Shawnee. That is a fantastic point. I didn't even think about that. Oh, wow. There was a lot of stuff that came up. Dumping as much as you can and get away with it in player development is still a thing. Yeah, it is. Is there a good college player still available? You dump 25 into your development and set your IFA draft budget to 0 so you can use your cash more freely. That makes sense. That's what I do in my online games. I just can't be like remembered to do it here. So we got Aiden Miller. Again, not a third baseman. I mean, I guess he's, again, passable at third base. He's got a better arm. OSA likes him a little bit more than we do. Batanti's a very raw bat, yeah. Nicholas Sanders. University of Texas, 18-year-old catcher. Not really a catcher, though, with 45 defensive rating. He's probably a left fielder more than anything. Hauk is a second baseman. OSA thinks he has 75 home run power. Helfrich looks okay. He's better defensively. Phelps is a first baseman. Christian Rodriguez, corner outfielder, but good leadoff hitter potential with that eye. Does Alan Chu still have a knuckleball? He does, yeah. He certainly does. Yeah, it's kind of where I am too, but I mean every single one of these bats is a high school player. A couple of college players, but like I wouldn't take him. Let's look at pitchers. What did I see down here? So Derek Mitchell. Let's just look at pitchers real quick. I don't think there's anything left, but Christian Little. Again, high schooler, though. I can't take the knuckleballer in the first round, Josh. I know you want me to. I know you love the knuckleballer, but I can't take an 18-year-old first baseman / knuckleballer in the first round. Yeah, I don't like taking high schoolers in the first round either, but like the top 20 players are all high schoolers. Kyle Teal looks okay, but not at 13. Wilkin looks better than Batanti. I mean, he's certainly further along, right? No, that's okay. So I got to go back and look at Batanti. Hadn't looked at him recently enough. So Batanti has better contact and better home run power. Wilkin has potential better gap power, better eye. Neither of them are good defensively. In fact, Batanti is better defensively than Wilkin. Yeah, they're both realistically first baseman, and I struggle taking first baseman in the first round. Like, I just can't bring myself to do it. Personally, I was leaning towards Houck. Personally, I was leaning this way. He's an actual middle infielder. He can play second base. Mock draft has us taking Batanti, right? Yep. Mock draft is so screwed up. This skiing's going 24th. We do have a supplemental pick here. Lou James Groover III. Holy hell, that's a name. That is a great name. Yeah, you guys are not wrong. You guys are not wrong. It's just hard for me to take that really low ceiling pick here in the early. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I think you guys are going to end up talking me into this. Wilkins at 250. Projects to 250, above average contact with good contact, middle of the order force. One other thing I wanted to look at was his development. His eye potential has dropped. Power's increased, but then yeah, his floor looks good. I know. I like the 65 eye. I like the 65 home run power. But he's not a third baseman. Can he play the outfield? I mean, I guess he could play left. DH. I mean, he's a beefy kid, 6'4", 225. All right, I think we go after Brock Wilkin. I think you guys convinced me. We will take Brock Wilkin. Swamper, I will eventually sort by infield and outfield range. I don't want to draft a player based off that yet. So I think we're going to take Brock Wilkin in the first round. And I think maybe with our supplemental pick, we can take one of these high potential guys if they're available coming up. So let's see what's available with our supplemental pick. Wow, almost all those players are gone. He's beefy. He's chunky. You should feel bad. You guys told me to do it. So our next pick, we still have Nicholas Sanders there, 18-year-old catcher with some pop. I'm leaning Derek Mitchell, though. Oh, OSA hates him. Who's our scout think we should take? Nazan Zanatello. Another non-third baseman, third baseman. Hey, Pete, have a good night. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. All right, so our next pick, they want us to take this guy. Gavin Grahovac, another 18-year-old catcher. Bowser never develops for me. OSA likes him a little bit more. Alan Chu it is. Does OSA hate him because your scouting report is more recent? I don't know. I also like to make sure that if I draft somebody, his ratings aren't declining going into the draft. So, like here, his contact has gone up and down. His overall has dipped, but then leveled out here over the last couple of months. I can't. No. Grahovac can play anywhere, but not well. Yeah. I'm leaning Derek Mitchell. I'm intrigued by the contact / gap / power. Ugh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, Matthew. You need to tell me that he flamed out and turned into nothing. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, where do we go with our second pick? Is there a pitcher worth looking at? Not really. James Hayes, but again, that changeup likely. Changeup likely doesn't. I think we're gonna take. Mitchell. Make the pick that I want to make here. I'm gonna take Derek Mitchell. 6'3", 195-pound switch hitter. We'll take him. Sanders is still there. I mean, do we pull the trigger on a potential 70 power catcher who, I mean, he's only 18 years old. OSA doesn't think we're that far off. Jaron Purify. Bowser with the high work ethic. OSA likes him more than we do. He can actually play third base, assuming he develops. Yeah, see, this scares me. Like this drastic drop off in all of his ratings right off the bat. That scares me. Who already has 35 power? The catcher? Yeah. Again, literally somebody else who can play all over the diamond at an average or slightly below average. He can play second base, play left. I think we take Nicholas Sanders here. I don't think he is going to be a 75 overall player, but maybe we get lucky. Say if Bowser was still there, we would have taken him. So what do we got now? We got Jackson McCann. Alan Chu is still there. Alan Chu is still here. He's still here. 6'1", 235-pound first baseman / knuckleballer. You signed Cody Bellinger. Who are you playing as right now, Breeze? I know you've switched a bunch. You playing as the Twins? Kevin Sim. Again, somebody else who can actually play third base. Riley Caleb Hampton? Another 18-year-old. Still a lot of decent bats there. Let's take a look here at pitch potential. Yuck. Oh, that's rating. I need potential. This is more like it. Oh, yeah. Here's another one of my my all-time favorite my all-time favorite development projects, I guess. If you go back and look at my draft to glory with Texas a couple of years ago, we drafted Josh Eknes in the 24th round, and he turned into an absolute stud. Got hurt a bunch, but he turned into a stud. Hockman looks okay. 60 stuff, 45 movement. Yeah, the meta pitch, the circle change. I know. I just like looking to see what we have for fastballs and stuff. I always start here and then I work my way back. Knuckle curve. Colin Shajowski. I don't know if you saw this or not, Josh. I don't know if you stepped away, but look who's still available. Look who's still available here in round 4. Burris, 65 gap. Jaron I don't mind. Purify's not bad. Do I have a weird echo? Huh. Let me turn the audio up. Hang on. You know what it was? I think it was me talking into the can. I had the beer can up against my voice, up against my face. I think that may have been it. You always draft Burris. Drew Burris. Oh, those aren't bad ratings. Good defensively. Oh, he's an impossible signing. Caleb Hampton. Let's look at fielding ratings. No great defensive catchers. Oh, hell. But I can't take him in the 4th round, but there he is. Marusak. We will take him. Don't worry. We will draft him. It's just a matter of finding the right time to do so. Hampton usually has decent ratings. He looks okay, I guess, if he develops fully. I will do it. I promise I will do it. And if we don't do it, I'll trade for him. No, I absolutely will draft him. And I'll draft him higher than I probably should. I think I'm going to take Purify. High work ethic. Play all 3 middle infield positions. He's only 17, so I mean, again, it could turn into anything. But yeah, I know. I'm afraid to. Chu is still there. Okay, I think Alan Chu is the pick here in the 5th round. We get ourselves a potential slugging, high contact, 2-way knuckleballer. Can't go wrong there. Let's go ahead and go to the next pick, and let's make sure our guy is there. If he is, we will take him right here. Welcome to the Chicago Cubs, R.J. Mayer. There he is. So we have done it. That's not what I wanted to look at. They wanted me to take Zanatello in the second round. He's still there in the 7th. They want me to take Shane Lewis. I made a great choice. I knew you would be happy there, Josh. I knew you would be happy. Pitchers. Not a good pitcher draft. Green doesn't look awful. He only throws 88 to... He's a fly ball pitcher who throws 88 to 90. Looks like he also has some offensive ability. Yeah, Miller Green's not awful. The changeup, I mean, it's a lot of ifs, right? If the changeup develops, and I mean, he could be okay. You can tell me, Shawnee, how he went. I mean, assume it went poorly, but yeah, assume it went poorly. Therese Butcher, 21-year-old. I mean, again, movement and control, not great for a 21-year-old. Decent stuff, good fastball, good curveball, high work ethic, sure. Canuck only lineup. Have to get Freddie Freeman. It's like actual Canadians or like WBC Canadians, like somebody who like was in Canada once and went, I'm now on the Canadian national team. Caleb Appleby, the 6'7" righty. I think we're going to take him with our next pick. Let's see if we can get a couple of pitchers in here. Well, we've taken a couple so far, Jim Jams. We've taken 2 so far. Let's go back to batting potential and look at all players. Good old Lou James Groover III. I think we got to take Lou James Groover III, right? I mean, just because of the name. His nickname is Gino. We'll take him if he's still there. He is. Drafting for the memes rather than the talent. Yeah, and in this game, I mean, we love seeing players, that get drafted in the 15th round that turn into studs, right? Like Caleb Hampton's probably a decent pick here. He's not a center fielder, but he's got some pop potentially. Spencer Butt. Is he in here somewhere? Spencer Butt. Is he related to Jake Butt? He's right there. He was drafted in the 10th round by somebody. Kulikowski looks... I mean, that's the definition of average. 70 gap power. Jackson McKenzie. High work ethic with the high home run power and eye and discipline. Sure. We've got all players, so we don't have any other pitchers in here. Channing Austin, who's Let's go back to individual pitch potential. If he's related to the football player, it's Butt. Jake Butt. 19-year-old, high work ethic. He's got 4 potential plus pitches. I mean, he's ages away. It's not my pick. Let's get to our pick. Griff AG. There's a couple players like that. There's, I think the Indians, or the Guardians have somebody like that too, don't they? Middle infielder, second baseman, I think. Yeah, Jim, me too. At this point in the draft, right? Like that's what you're going after. You're just trying to find, individual skills that could develop. Like when I'm looking at these pitch potentials, when I pull up the player's profile picture, what I'm hoping to see is like 65 stuff, 50 movement, 25 control, and then 3 good pitches. Like I'm hoping that either the stuff and the movement are good and that the control will catch up through, um, random, random development or whatever. So Heath Andrews, 18. Oops, I didn't mean to click out of that so quickly. 50 stuff, 35 movement, 40 control, fly ball pitcher, fastball, curveball, changeup. Always impossible. Jordan Armstrong. Nope. I think we're running out of picks here, guys, and I'd like to get to the deadline. So let's see if there's anything I see that really stands out, and if not, we will move on. Wes Burton. Check here real quick. The circle change. Sajowski's still there. Luke Terbeek. Nope. Let's go to fielding one more time. Make sure we didn't miss anybody. Hampton. I think we let the AI finish from here. I'm good with that. So tomorrow night, guys, I will be over on Twitch. General Manager Games. So if you haven't followed them yet, find them on YouTube, drop them a follow, and then tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, I think is when I start over there. I will be on GM Games, and we will be starting up a Chicago White Sox playthrough over on General Manager Games. So stay tuned for that. Come hang out with me tomorrow night as well. So that's the plan over there. And I don't know how many of you like the perfect team, but drops are enabled. So if you are perfect team fanatic, drops will be enabled on that stream as well. So anyway, let's keep going. Negotiate. Just go ahead and offer. We are going to save some money in the draft, which is nice. At least a little bit. Every penny we can save at this point will be good. Look at Alan Chu. Wants $5,000 over slot, Josh. I blame you for that one. Cost me $5,000. Right. I want to go into. We have 106 players in our rookie ball system. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to get rid of all the 20 rated players who are over a certain age. Burl Caraway. Still hanging around, huh? 25, 2020. Should probably go through and clear out my minor leagues altogether and get rid of all the players that we know we don't want so that we can have the players we want playing actually playing. $5K is worth it, huh? You're doing the White Sox right now. You ended up having to blow up the pitching staff entirely, even Cease. Ugh. That's rough. You sent him to the Cubs. Another White Sox Cubs deal. Love it. I hope he'll be better than Wakefield. Timmy turned into a knuckleballer because he couldn't hit. You know what the other thing I need to do is I need to go through and disable the promotion on all of our young guys. Alexis Henderson. We'll see what happens with McKenzie. I mean, really good gap, a really good home run power, high work ethic. I mean, he could turn into something. You put in roster limits for minors. Yeah, I don't mind having a lot of players on my roster, or a lot of players that I have to cut. I mean, we don't need, 4 26-year-old relievers in A-ball. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not necessary. So, this forces me to go through and go, all right, do I really need all of these players here, or can I cut them and call some players up and do things like that? It forces me to go through and do that. I'm not going to do it now. You guys don't need to watch me, but yeah. So we are at the 11th. I do want to get to the deadline. So our salaries are down to $169 million. Nice for next season. What happens if we try to trade Hendricks and retain all? Can we get anything? How will they catch certain pitches? I mean, I think that's all encompassed into framing, right? I think that's all just built into the framing rate. Nothing. Nobody wants Hendricks. Nobody wants any of my players because they all suck, which is fine. Smiley, Jan Gomes. Anybody interested in a Jan Gomes? The echo is back. I don't know why. I'm just literally just sitting here with my mic. I haven't changed anything. I don't have any idea. I don't know enough about this stuff. I literally just turn on OBS and click start streaming, and then I'm going. I can screw around with it tomorrow and see if I can fix it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a setting in, like, let me look at OBS here real quick. Yeah, I don't even know what any of this stuff, excuse me, I don't even know what any of this stuff means. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I apologize. You guys can just hear me twice. All right. I don't know that we're going to be able to make any more deals because nobody wants any of our players because they're all bad. I mean, alternatively, we could look to move somebody like Madrigal. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to be interested, but again, we're not really cutting salary with Madrigal, but we can at least see. Oof. Brutal. Nobody wanted Stroman, right? 25 this year. Man, I hope he opts out. Make my life so much easier. I can't shop any more players today. All right. Let's get to our next game. It's not a big deal. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. You get what you get with me, right? You guys know that. I'm not I'm by no means a professional streamer. I don't do this to earn a living. I do this, I don't know why I do it, honestly, but I do it. All right, so Wilkins signed his contract, or his signing bonus. So did Sanders. So we signed Rich Hill, but because he just goes to the minors, we don't get the bump. Sanders, McKenzie, Wilkin, Jackson Ferris was a pick last year. We got all these guys that are rated 50 that more than likely within the next 6 months they're going to be 20 or 25s. The Royals are quite willing to part ways with the Italian stallion Nicky Lopez, really. We don't really need another infielder. That's the thing. I mean, defensively, he's great. but we don't really need that. Is there anybody on the trade block that's of interest? Can we trade salary for salary? Aaron Nola. Problem is, if we traded for Nola, we wouldn't be able to re-sign him. I'd love to pick up someone like Nola. Like half our team is on the trade block right now. Chapman's having a good year. All right, let's play a couple of days. They offered him like 5 times to the deadline. Maybe we'll get him. Maybe we'll pick him up. Who knows? So he's given us a little bit of pop. Mervis and Rios are both. I kind of want to leave Rios up, honestly. We'll send him down. Get Hosmer back up. Get Hosmer back in the lineup. Stick him back at the top of said lineup. Bat Horner second. And then I guess Hosmer there as well. All right, Swamper, I'll talk to you soon. And we got a sim tonight, and I got an offer in for somebody. I put in an offer as we approach free agency, trying to get myself a player on the cheap, like I did with Eloy Jimenez a couple of years ago. So we'll see what happens. Hey, we won a game. We beat the Red Sox 6-3. Let's go. Swanson and Suzuki each had a couple of hits. Velasquez 3 hits, 2 RBIs. I want Stroman to pitch well. Because I want him to opt out of his contract. That's what we're aiming for here. We're hoping for a big second half from Stroman. Brash still hanging on. He is good. Another wins time over Washington. Dansby sitting on 5 home runs this season. Not good. Anybody want Leiter? He was an all-star this year. He's pitching well. Been more people in this stream tonight than I've ever had in a live stream before. It's pretty cool. Appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. All right, so we can trade Mark Leiter, so maybe we see if there's anything worth picking up here. Jake Rogers, good defensive catcher. Mason Miller's an option, 45.65. Josiah Gray. Possibility. And I think that's the obvious answer, right? Yeah, popular man. Yeah, there's 30 people in the world of YouTube that are interested in watching me play a statistic-based baseball game. This feels pretty easy to me. This feels like a pretty easy deal for me. Mark Leiter for Mason Miller. Yes, sir. We will do that. And we get an almost. It's weird. Like you do the 1-for-1 and they say yes, and then they come back and they go, well, not quite yes, but almost yes. But these players are all pretty terrible, so I don't care. You want Adrian Antana? I mean, I want to, if I can improve the trade reputation, which I'm doing, it should make some of these deals a little bit easier. That feels like a pretty solid deal. Mason Miller, pretty good reliever here, 60 potential stuff. What happens if we make him a starter? Yeah, it's not as good, but still 4 good pitches for a reliever that's 32 years old. Let's make him a reliever. Sam Haggerty, I'll take a look at him. It's down into Oklahoma. He's 29. I mean, he's 29. If he was 24, sure. Looks okay, though. Discount Alberto Mondesi. All right, so we're at the 19th. We're getting to the deadline. I'm hoping that I just get like shocked with somebody saying, hey, we want to trade you this person, and this person. Alan Chu, absolutely need to set him as a two-way player. We will not skip the DH, so he will DH and play in the field. His knuckleball's terrible, though. It's terrible. See how it goes, I guess. We will see how it goes. I'm not expecting much, but... All right, we win again. You go Horner 3 for 5, 4 RBIs, 2 RBIs for Mervis, 2 RBIs for Morel. Smiley's another one I feel like we should be able to trade. Future Hall of Famer Alan Chu. Does he make it as a batter or a pitcher? Or do we start calling Shohei Ohtani a discount Alan Chu? Yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to trade the contract, but at 80%, it's not even worth it. Oh, excuse me. We have so many bad contracts. This is an opt-out. He's almost certainly not going to opt out of it. So I feel like you believe in Chu. All right. Okay. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Yeah, I feel like there's absolutely no way Smiley opts out of his deal. So even if we have to retain $6 million, that's still $2 million less than we would have to pay next season. Velasquez 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Stroman with another win. That's what we want to see. Probably hitter. I mean, it probably goes in as a batter, I would imagine. Bodie, this contract, man, this sucks. Yeah, like I'm not worried about Hendricks because we're not going to pick up his option. I'm not worried about Gomes because we're not going to pick up his option. Yeah, this just isn't worth it. Just want to see. High control, low movement players. You've had some interesting results. Depends on, I think, kind of where, right? Like when I was doing my Colorado save last year on GM Games, there's no way, right? There's no way that you can have a low movement guy in Colorado. It's just not going to work. Okay. So we could give up someone like Porter Hodge. He's 22 years old. He's pitching pretty well. All right, let's do it this way. Let's discuss the offer again. Let's retain 35%. See, that only saves us $695,000 this year. Next year it saves us 1.9. The year after that it saves us 2.5. Let's see. If I can get them to accept one of these offers with like a marginal player, I'll do it. Yeah, like this is what I'm talking about. I'm fine with that. You want Max Bain? Sure. So David Bodie 35% of his contract, along with Max Bain, to the Cardinals for Aristides Aquino, who we're literally just taking him so that we can complete the deal. It's perfect. Good. So that's another little bit off of our payroll for next season. Just trying to get this number down as much as I possibly can before we get to arbitration and whatnot. So next on the list is Smiley. We got to figure out a way to move Smiley. It's like if I go 65%. Oh, man, I've been going for 3 hours already. We got to get moving here. I am tired. I'm not really tired, but the AI has been making some ridiculously bad trades. Juan Soto for 2 good, not great pitching prospects. Ellie De La Cruz in a 5th for a 40 great prospect. Yeah, I actually turned down trading to very low in all of my saves, so that just fewer players were being moved. I didn't see a lot of bad deals, but I saw a lot of deals. I saw a ton of trades in the first couple of seasons of my Red Sox playoff line. Lost to the White Sox. I want to get to the deadline day, and then we can start to tinker around there. So beat the White Sox here, 3-1. McKinstry 3 for 4, 2 RBIs. Stroman again. That's what I like to see. What we like to see. We want Stroman to end up with a 3.5 WAR, and he opts out of the contract. That's exactly what I want to see. 41-61 back-to-back wins. Steals 2 for 2, or 2-2 rather. Let's get up to deadline day, shall we? I heard that, Shawnee. I that's actually something that I heard. Okay, so they want to send me Adrian Perez and Francis Pena for Stroman retaining 100%. I have no interest in retaining 100%. That serves absolutely no purpose to me. I think we're better off holding off on trading Stroman and seeing if he opts out. It's kind of the hope here, right, that he opts out. So we're getting tomorrow's deadline day. See if we have any offers. There, then put him now. Yes. All right, well, we're just going to go ahead and release him. I don't need him on my team. All right, it is deadline day. It is not deadline day. Tomorrow is deadline day. All right, let's start this. So this is the deal that they have offered us. I don't want to make that deal. I don't like that deal. So who's on the block? You got all the Cubs that are on the block. Most of these players are pretty bad, but we'll scan through really quickly and see what we see. Elvis Andrews, Hunter Renfroe, Jose Iglesias. Jacob Stallings isn't bad, or he wasn't last year. I hadn't really looked at his numbers this season. And not much going on here. Aaron Nola is somebody I would love to trade for. Is there some way we can get it? But the thing is, again, if we pick up Nola, we can't re-sign him. I think his contract is up, right? That's why they're trying to move him. Yeah. So we might have to see if we can figure out a way to pick him up in the off season. So I don't know if we're making any deals here at the deadline. Smiley was somebody I wanted to look at again, right? Smiley, and let's see what happens if we retain 85%. I'm just looking for a team to show some interest, and then we can start to back off and see if there's some other way to make it work. And that is brutal. Because Smiley is certainly not going to opt out of his contract. Gomes, we don't have to trade. We don't have to worry about trading him because we're not going to pick up his option. Same thing with Hendricks. Stroman, we're hoping opts out. Suzuki, we're likely, is anybody interested in, not that I'm going to trade him. Again, I want this to be fairly realistic, but what if I retain 50% of Suzuki? Nothing. Huh. Just nothing. Boxberger, team option for $5 million. No, I'm good. Sampson's ARB number was way too high for my liking next year. Nobody wants any of my players. Let's try Bellinger again. Oh, excuse me. Okay, there's, I don't want to say interest because it's all bad players and they're all old. Just continue a day. I didn't accept this deal. What are you talking about? I'm really amazed. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. I get it. He's a 640 OPS guy and a 75 OPS plus. I don't know that we're going to be able to do anything here at the deadline. I don't think anybody wants any of my players. What about some of our cheap players? Someone like Cody Hoyer? I think we're just going to have to just sort of deal with it the first couple of years, right? We're just going to sort of have to deal with the fact that we don't have a lot of money. We can't do a lot. It doesn't help me. Fulmer's contract, is it up after this year? It is. I don't really care about him. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're done. I'll go and I'll take a look at that. Oh, we got a trade offer. So they want me to retain 100% of Suzuki and to send them Ballesteros. And they'll give me Miller and Sort. Yeah, you guys can. No. Clear this dude. Get this out of here. This is not I'm not interested in that at all. So I would do this if you guys would retain. San Diego can't afford it. Well, that doesn't help me. Okay, well, never mind. Never mind. Reject. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we've made the deals that we're going to be able to make. I would like to be able to move on from some other people, but I don't. What about Hosmer? Let's take a look at Hosmer. He's had himself a good year. There's got to be a team out there that wants Eric Hosmer, right? There's got to be somebody out there who wants Eric Hosmer. He's had a good year. Okay. Mostly, yeah, we get another pitcher from Miami. We get Max Meyer. He's back in 6 months. That's an option. Something I might consider doing. Again, it doesn't help us for this year, but I'm not really worried about this year. Siri? I mean, you can always use another defensive outfielder, right? Can't hit to save his life. I think I like the deal with Miami. They got Trevor Rogers out there too. He's not been good. They've got Sixto Sanchez. He's not been good. Max Meyer's the best of the bunch. We're going to make that deal. We are going to trade Eric Hosmer to the Miami Marlins for Max Meyer. Shohei, FJ, just because of the amount of time I was in was it, I think the third year of my Red Sox save, I won the World Series, and Ohtani had a 350 batting average and a sub 2.5 ERA on the mound. So, all right, that's a deal that I like. I don't know, where is he? Why is he not there? Shouldn't he be there? Where is he? Where is he? Do they have him on the DL? The IL? Oh, because the trade hasn't gone through yet. Right. And the deadline passed. Son of a. That's what happens when you've been streaming for 3 hours and 10 minutes. All right. Well, that's disappointing, but it is what it is. Did they really? Yeah, Shawnee. In my Red Sox save, they didn't sign him, so I signed him. I signed him as a Red Sox, and in his second year with the team, he hurt his arm in the first year. In the second year with the team, we won the World Series, and he was exactly what you would expect. So, all right, we are. Yeah. I what I should have done is gone back to trade block, and I just muscle memory at this point, right? After 15 years of clicking the same buttons. But I will figure it out. So, yeah, all right. Well, this is where we are. We're a bad pitching team. We're a bad hitting team. We're 41 and 64. We're not even in last place. We can't even lose properly. Third worst record in the National League. We are bottom 6 in the majors. I think what I do between now and next episode is sim to the end of the regular season, because I don't think any of you guys want to watch me lose for another 2 months. So I think my hope is to get another video out on Tuesday. I have a game I have to go broadcast Monday after work, so I won't have much time on Monday to do. Monday will be my first day back from vacation, so I'm going to be buried with work, and then I've got a game Tuesday afternoon. So probably Tuesday will be my next opportunity to record a video, so I'll get that out Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night sometime, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, the Rockies are not good. Yeah, I hope to get a video out every couple of days, at least initially. Every 2-3 days tops. Yeah, they're really bad. They are really, really bad. So that's gonna do it, guys. We've been going for a little over 3 hours. I am spent. I'm gonna go in the house, and I'm going to keep playing with the Red Sox, and that's it. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I had a lot of fun. Again, remember, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. over on GM Games. Probably not that you guys need it, since most of you, it sounds like, already have the game, but we will be doing a giveaway starting tomorrow for a copy of Out of the Park 24. anybody who's interested, there'll be a couple things they have to do. But yeah. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. over on General Manager Games on Twitch, I will be streaming again. So I'm going to go rest my voice, have some tea, watch some TV, play some Out of the Park 24, and then go to bed.